Dude, you leave for Germany tomorrow. You're in Germany right now, dude.
Yep. Well, yeah, after this drops, I'll have been in Germany for a couple days now.
How is
my
it?
vacation will have started.
Yeah. Well, I hope you packed properly.
I hope so. And we're going to talk about a lot of packing, most underrated packing items. And I also want to talk about as well, Jared, some of the most forgotten packing items because I'm going on this trip, as you said, and I want to make sure I don't forget anything. So
yeah,
you're going to help me out today.
I'll send you a copy of this episode after. You can just listen to it while you're packing.
I'll listen to it on the plane when it's too late and I forgot everything. I have no socks, no toothpaste. No sandals, no swimsuit.
Are you checking your bag?
I have one check bag.
And that's the big one you're telling me about?
Because, you know me. I'm bringing some gifts and some presents for some friends.
Right. So you want the people working there to throw it and really test the durability of your gifts.
Exactly.
I understand, yeah.
I have some stuff bubble wrapped.
Okay.
Because I'm bringing a couple nice bottles of whiskey.
Okay. Yeah, can they not really get that over there?
I mean, they can, but it's a little pricey.
Okay, because I know you can get like Jack Daniels or like Jim Beam, but that's just like that's like the Coca-Cola of whiskey.
Right. Like I don't think you can find Johnny Walker like regularly.
I know you can at a duty free. It's always at duty free.
Oh, for sure. Well, of course.
That's what you should do. You should get them all wedding gifts from duty free.
Just buy a bunch of. I could.
A giant Toblerone.
How does that work though? Actually, like, because it's been a long time now, Jared, since I've been in an airport.
Yeah, I don't remember how that works. You buy it here, so you'd have to buy it before you leave.
Right.
You can't. Can you buy it when you land at the German airport?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking. I don't know.
I don't remember how that works because I know you can't.
Right.
There was some King of Queens episode way back in the day where Arthur, the dad, rest in peace, Jerry Stiller, he was at an airport, but this was also back in the day when you could like go to an airport up to the terminal without having a ticket.
Right.
And he was trying to buy stuff from duty free and trying to like sweet talk the person working at duty free for
get a bigger sale.
But without having a place to go because I think he was dropping someone off at the airport.
Okay.
So yeah, I know you have to have a ticket, but you should look that up. That would actually be. I mean, that'd be more funny than it is like a great gift, maybe.
Right.
But like you get some like perfumes.
Right. Well, I do have
some Bacardi.
Do have some perfumes. Do have some alcohols.
A carton of cigarettes.
That's right. Some girl Marlboros.
You're a Marlboro man, right? No, I've never.
I'm a Camel guy.
In my life.
Right.
I mean, these were such a great price. I just couldn't resist.
Exactly. You can't pass it up. And that, kids, is how you can become a chain smoker.
Yeah. Like, well, since he got them for me. I guess I got to smoke a couple just to be nice.
Don't want to be wasteful.
Yeah, just to be
rude.
nice. You know, it is a nice gift. It is a nice gesture, and I'm sure it was a great price. I've been to duty free before.
But I mean, gifts is definitely something you don't want to forget. But I feel like that's definitely not usually a very underrated packing item. I feel like most people, when they have gifts, that's kind of like, for me too, it was like, how am I going to pack all of this?
I mean,
properly?
you're not going to forget especially if that's kind of the main purpose of you even doing this trip as a wedding.
Right.
If you forget the gifts, you're just an idiot at that point.
That's true.
It's like that.
I have thought about though, dude. I mean, it's never happened yet. Knock on wood.
I was like, what are you looking for?
It's never happened yet that I can't reach it.
I got you.
Thank you. But the nice thing is too is that I only have one bag and it's a direct flight. So I think the odds of my bag being lost are pretty slim.
When's the last time you've had a bag get lost?
Never.
Yeah,
but I've usually done pretty much direct flights or like one layover.
I'm interested to see how many people are on your flight too.
I bet you it'll be packed. I got to reserve my seats this evening too.
Oh, because have you checked in already?
I got to do that as well.
You think it's going to be packed because because your time it just came up around now because you're leaving at like 4. You said it right.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you think it's probably going to be full because it's just opening up as an option?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be 3 days after they opened.
Yeah, ticket prices were full price.
Oh, they were expensive.
Yeah.
And I had to pay for the singular check bag, which never used to be the case.
Really? I've never heard that before.
Yep.
Lufthansa?
$140.
That's some real low-class stuff, Lufthansa.
It's kind of a bummer.
Wait, Delta doesn't do that. Delta,
I had like 2 bags with Delta when I went from China. Yeah.
Yeah. Yet you're still loyal to your German. I
guess so. Maybe I should have looked at Delta. I do have flyer miles too. Yeah, maybe I should have, but
it's too late now.
I do. Well,
this is not your last journey.
Right.
Maybe one day you'll actually make a smart decision and not just be a brand snob.
Maybe. But so far, Lufthansa's been pretty good. So.
So our next 3 episodes. I don't have my drops on me, but our next 3 episodes are going to be on the road again, or the next 3 weeks of episodes, I should say. And we just started hanging out again, and it's over so soon.
I know, but I'll be back, Jared.
All right, dude, let's get it going.
Let's do it. Hello and welcome to the Untranslatable podcast. We are here today to talk about some of the most forgotten travel items and also underrated items to pack as well. So there will definitely be some things if you're going on a trip soon. Tune in because this will help you remember all the key important things you need to pack for whatever trip you're going on in the near future. And thankfully, I have got my co-host who has lots of travel experience under his belt, and he's going to help me today make sure I don't forget anything important for my 3-week Euro trip coming up very soon. So without further ado, I'm here with my good buddy. What's going on, Jared?
Hey, Chad, I really had to dig deep for this one, Think about all those journeys I've been on. Great journeys, bad journeys, it doesn't matter. Just think about those moments on a trip where you just go like, oh, shit, where it's like, oh, it would have been great if I had this right now.
Yep.
And honestly, I wrote down a little list of things that make me feel that way, and I might put this in my notes app.
There we go.
And refer to it whenever I travel, because I feel like I've got a great list of things where it's just like this is the simplest thing,
but you need it.
But you need it, and it's something that you never.
Can I give a quick teaser?
Think of, please,
of one.
Sure.
One that I was thinking about that happened to a good friend of mine is they went on a 2-week trip to France, and he had forgotten his little brick for his phone charger. So, I mean, you can buy a new one, but it's still a little bit inconvenient,
Yeah. That's annoying. That's definitely annoying. That's a common one. That's definitely a common one. Or sometimes I'll even forget the cord. Yeah, I actually.
That's a big one.
Speaking of which, I have a tip regarding phone chargers a little later, but that's
nice.
A teaser because that's a Jared secret that everyone actually. It's not really a secret, but it's a great tip that I'll give you. Hey, dude.
Dude.
I know you like to play games.
Ooh.
I know you have a game that you tell me that you always enjoy to play. So this is a short rate the apology.
Yes.
Short and
Sweet.
hilarious.
Oh, okay, great. Let's
to me
hear
at
it.
least. All right, so let me open the article real quick. That would have been nice to have prepared. Okay, so there's sincere regret. New Jersey education official apologizes for calling Kamala Harris a streetwalker.
Oh no! Oh jeez.
All right. Well, let's get into it. How does that happen? That's a good question. How does that happen?
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a great explanation.
That's a bold statement.
And I'm sure his apology will explain it and absolve him. I'm ready to invite him to the cookout. To be honest with you.
Can I ask you, what does did he say streetwalker?
Streetwalker.
What does that mean, Jared?
Like a prostitute?
Is that okay?
Is that what you mean?
I'm asking you.
Okay. I mean, that's what I imagine.
I think that's what it is
when I hear
as well, right?
streetwalker, I imagine prostitute. Although, who says streetwalker?
That sounds like kind of an old, outdated term, to be honest.
It's almost like you should be saying she looks like a lady of the night.
Right? Exactly.
Anyway, let's hear what this guy had to say. A local education official in New Jersey apologized Wednesday after calling Vice President Kamala Harris a streetwalker in a Facebook comment. Facebook.
Uh-oh.
Just the simplest Facebook. Come on. She is right off of the wingnut streets of San Francisco. What do you expect from a streetwalker who has no clue about America? Gregory A. Martucci, a member of the Linden Board of Education, wrote earlier this month in response to a post about the vice president. Martucci apologized in text messages to multiple media outlets this week. Pause for Cristiano Ronaldo. He missed.
Nope.
Hit the wall.
Right off the wall.
This is the apology.
Let's hear it.
This was an offensive comment which does not reflect who I am in both my private and public lives, he wrote to NBC
Via text message.
New York. Smiley emoji. Oh, no, shrugging emoji. I assure you that I will continue to support all women, and he has a woman emoji, a black woman emoji, and a Native American woman emoji. Oh, by the way, no emojis. I'm just kidding.
I was going to say, there are so many other emojis you left out. That's the problem. If you do one, you got to do them all.
And that's why I'm marking off a couple numbers, because he did miss some of the available races and nationalities.
Doesn't surprise
It's
me.
like you didn't even put I noticed you didn't put a woman with a I don't even know. I can't even. I'm not an emoji user, so I don't even know what really the options are. I'm not the wrong person to make emoji jokes.
Right.
And excuse me. I assure
only
you,
emoji Jared really does is the eggplant.
back to
one.
his apology. I assure you that I will continue to support all women and all cultures. I would ask each of
That's
you
a bold
to,
statement, Jared.
I would ask each of you to be receptive of my public apology and sincere regret for this infurious.
Wait a minute.
Oh, excuse me, injurious comment.
Can you read that? Can we rewind? Can you
Of
read that
course.
again?
Can you not look at the game for a hot
Yeah,
second?
I'm listening.
Okay.
Yeah, you got my attention.
I'm just kidding. This was an offensive comment which does not reflect who I am in both my private and public lives. Classic. He wrote to NBC New York. I assure you that I will continue to support all women and all cultures. I would ask each of you to be receptive of my public apology and sincere regret for this injurious comment.
Right there, that ending. That ending is, to me, is a little bit ridiculous because he's basically saying like, I want you to recognize my
He's
apology.
essentially saying, all right, I apologized, so accept it. Let's move on.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. First of all, shouldn't he apologize to Kamala Harris?
Probably
as well?
not to the news outlets. You clearly know what the motivation is when you apologize to the news outlets.
I'm going to give this one. Can I go first?
Yeah,
I'm
go
gonna give
for
this
it.
one a strong 2.
I was going to say 3. So okay.
Okay.
I think 2 to 3 is a fair.
I think 3 might be fair. I think
Maybe 3 is too generous, honestly.
2 would be like, I apologize to that streetwalker. I should have called her a whore. To be more accurate, I should have called her a dirty
Sounded
whore.
like
And I
Frank from
apologize
Always Sunny.
for mischaracterizing you. No, that would have probably been a 1. Actually, I might give that a 10 for boldness.
Okay. Yeah. No.
No, I'm
no
kidding. But that's a terrible apology.
Yeah.
Martucci's remarks on Harris appeared in a public Facebook group called "I Grew Up in Linden, New Jersey" under a post by pro-Trump comedian Terrence K. Williams. Do you know who Terrence K. Williams is?
I don't. That
He's
sounds the most boomer.
No, he's a black kid.
Okay.
He's like one of those black Republicans that, and he has this voice where he's like, oh, so you Democrats just think that, I see, you think that the Democrats just won the election. Okay, we're going to show you that Trump is still the president of the United States of America. Just one of those.
Oh, jeez.
But his voice is hilarious, and he's always just laughing like at how, fake laughing at how dumb the Democrats are. He's like, okay, I see you Democrats, so you just assume that Biden's the president. Anyway.
Oh man.
So he was posting under a guy that posts stuff like that. That called a comedian is a stretch, by the way. I've seen his Twitter a lot.
Okay.
It's hilarious, but I don't think in the way that in the way he means.
It probably he's kind of trolls a lot of people, I would assume, right?
I mean, he's just like your typical sort of like popular Twitter Republican, whether it be Candace Owens, whether it be like Tommy Lahren, any sort of, whether it be that college gun girl, she's
ridiculous.
Caitlyn Bennett, I think her name is, it's just your generic sort of young Republican that essentially just trolls.
Right.
Speaking of trolling, I have a special shout out to Candace Owens, who made a point of saying she's not going to celebrate Juneteenth. She's going to just stick to celebrating July 4th.
4th of July, really?
Damn, that's a
Bold move.
Bold move.
Is she de-invited to the cookout, Jared?
Oh yeah, because we were so excited to welcome her to the cookout that, by the way, I'm not going to.
Right.
Because I've seen the people that are invited to the cookout and I don't want to hang out with them.
Have your own cookout.
But Candace Owens just got de-invited. They're like, you know what?
Wasn't all the
too
other
far.
shit she said.
She's gone too far.
Right. I will say though, there is some stuff she says I do agree with a little
All right,
bit.
Chad, come on.
I will
Like
say
what?
that.
Like what?
Well, now you're asking me. I don't know. I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
If
Like,
you
I
don't
watched
have
her-
any examples, that's a weird thing to just offer up.
I watched her on the Roommates podcast.
The Roommates podcast.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't know. It was an interesting conversation. There was just a couple things she said there. I wanted to give her a little bit of a chance, so I watched and listened, and there were a couple things she said that I agreed with.
She's got some points, everyone.
Right. Just
Give her
a
a
couple.
chance.
Fuck
Fuck Juneteenth. I'm celebrating July 4th. She makes a good point.
That's that was the episode.
So
I
my
was
question is, where's the line between like I would say, who cares if they make a couple points that I agree with? If they make things that if they say things on a regular basis that I find to be just apprehensibly terrible.
Yeah, then I would say
Like she might have I'm sure if I listened to a podcast of hers, honestly I probably have. I probably listened to one of those Joe Rogan ones back in the day. There's probably something I agree with. We probably have similar taste in, I don't know, Italian food. I don't know. But it's like, who gives a shit
spaghetti or rigatoni.
if she's regularly on her Twitter spewed things that I just 100% fully disagree with, you know?
Now remember.
Like, I don't care if I agree with a couple things you say, if I am disgusted by a lot of things you say.
Right. Well, and that's totally fine. But remember, I'm not really on Twitter. So I don't
Sure,
see all the
sure.
junk she says, I guess. So
Okay,
that's
well.
the big difference. But I think if I were you, yeah, I think that's fair.
How do you feel about her statements about disregarding Juneteenth and saying that
I think it's a little ridiculous. I think it's a little ridiculous.
Listen, even as a conservative, that's a bold move as a black person to say. Just to be like, who cares about slaves being freed?
Right. Yeah, I mean, I feel like especially you should just honor the history of the country, good and unfortunately
Right.
bad, so you can learn from it. You
And
know
it's
what I
like
mean?
it's so funny. You're committing to celebrating a holiday that came into fruition when you were not even your ancestors weren't even free.
Yep.
Humans. You're
Yeah.
on July 4th, 1796, when
were-
all the white people were having cookouts. Your ancestors
You're
were
making the
serving them.
food and
Were
cleaning
out in the
up. Yeah.
fields.
Yeah. It's terrible.
It's just so ridiculous. That's such a bold thing to say as a black person. I don't
Right.
care if you're a conservative or not, because like this is real history.
Oh, for
this
sure.
did happen.
For
that
sure.
slavery, it's like, wow. All right.
Here's the irony though, Jared. If Trump would have signed Juneteenth, I guarantee you she'd be like, "Oh,
yeah,
Juneteenth,
yeah.
Juneteenth."
And you liberals don't appreciate anything he does.
You don't appreciate the history of our country is like probably the way they try to spin
Trump
it.
is
you know?
Trump is the only president that would recognize such
Right,
serious
exactly.
atrocities done to this country because he cares about America. You know,
Like there's a couple. There's a
that's
couple,
a great point. That is very true.
There's a couple ladies I know, Jared, from down south, and they're Trump supporters.
Just
and-
generic ladies.
And
from
it
down
was,
south.
and well, it
Right.
was interesting to me just how they, like, I just was talking to them about Trump and just all the stuff they were saying. It was just interesting how. I just don't know, as a woman, after some of the very, blatant sexual things, explicit things he
Liberals
said,
are just,
we're just snowflakes.
Yeah, they're exactly. They just can't handle a joke. That's all it is.
Oh, that was a close
So
one.
we're watching the Euro Cup, and I believe that was Christie.
That was almost Cristiano Ronaldo scoring a goal.
Did a strong header that Courtois, Belgium's goalie,
Yep.
saved strongly.
This has been a more exciting game to watch than the Austria-Italy game, I would say. Well,
Yeah.
the Austria-Italy
game
only
only got exciting at like the end of regular time, I would
Right.
say, but it was super exciting all through stoppage time.
Right.
But yeah, no, this has been exciting to watch. So yeah,
been fun.
that was a terrible. So you gave him a 3. I gave him a 2.
Yeah.
Honestly, that was a terrible apology. That was the most like. That was the most just like, oh God, people caught me. Let me just say something real quick and move
Right.
on. Because
Right.
and there was no, by the way, and if I'm not mistaken, there was no talk of like a job loss or anything like that. So the Linden Board of Education is currently reviewing and addressing this matter, Hazelton said. At this time, we do not have any additional comments related to this matter.
Of course not.
Yeah, so it's just like, yeah, they're like, well it'll go away.
Right.
I'll forget about it by Wednesday. I'm going to be honest with you. Today's Sunday. I'll forget about it by Wednesday.
That's fair.
So will everyone else on the internet, and move on to the next idiot that said some stupid shit on Facebook.
Yep. Facebook is just, oh, man.
You just missed a shot at the post.
Oh, uh-oh.
Anyway, untranslatables. Or do you have anything else you want to say?
Let's do
Sorry.
it. No.
Okay.
No. I would
Untranslatables.
like to- let's do it. Yeah. Untranslatables are idioms, proverbs, sayings, axioms that don't always translate on a one-to-one basis into English, and we are here, your tried and true untranslatable professionals, to decipher these for you. I will get us started today, Jared, with a German untranslatable, and this one is Da brennt die Luft.
The air burns there. Let me ask you real quick. The air burns there. Did you here it is. Did you do any sort of freshening up on your German in preparation for your trip?
Little bit, yeah. Been listening to more German music, a little reading here and there.
Okay. Just wondering. The air burns there. Is that like a don't go there, girlfriend? Like, oh, don't talk about that. Don't bring that up around around Chad. You know how that the air burns there if you bring up blah 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 or whatever.
I mean, kind of, yeah. I would give you the ham horn.
That's their sore spot.
We would say like I guess what we might say is you could cut the
You could cut the tension with the knife.
I think so. Like on here, what it says is like
I love
heated
that.
Atmosphere.
I love that untranslatable. By the way, you can cut the tension with a knife.
Sometimes it feels like that, dude.
Yeah, you know another untranslatable I was thinking about recently that actually
What's
why
that?
I was thinking about it because I told you I was gonna wear that shirt you got me from Bali. I love
the bintang?
I love the untranslatable. I can't hear you over your shirt or like your
Oh
clothes.
yeah, that's a good one.
Anyway, I have a Greek untranslatable. I can't hear you over your shirt means saying loud colors, something super bright or something. That's just an untranslatable, English untranslatable I like. Anyway, my first untranslatable is Greek, and it's sigata lachana. Lachana, excuse me.
Which means
Slowly the cabbage. You could also say, by the way, slowly the cabbage is like a full-on literal, but you could also, it kind of means like slow down the cabbage.
okay. So it just means like relax, chill out, don't hurry.
Let me say it like this.
Okay.
All right, Chad, slow down the cabbage, man. Whoa,
it's like
slow down the cabbage, man.
It's like cool it, like
You listen to my tone. All right, bro, slow down the cabbage.
you being a little sarcastic or a little.
There you go. Yes, I am.
Is that what it means to be sarcastic?
No. I'd say it to you. It's something that I would be saying to you sarcastically. So maybe, okay, for example, you told me about that you get a new van, and you're like I got these window covers made out of old boxes, and they hold out the light really well, dude. You would be surprised. My bed is I was driving by Kalamazoo College, and I just happened to see a dumpster with some of those old extended twin beds.
Perfect size.
Super comfortable, actually, and it was surprisingly clean after you just spray some Lysol on it. And I tell you, oh, wow, dude, slow down the cabbage. Real cool.
So it's
Why specifically would I say slow down the cabbage then to you? If you're like bragging to me about,
like it's not really brag worthy.
sure, like
Really?
it's like big deal. That's essentially
Right.
what it means.
Oh, I like that.
It's
Okay.
like, wow, cool. That's a real
Okay.
big deal. That's really special.
Right. Okay.
Sarcastically.
That's
He
fair.
said sarcastically.
Right. Exactly. My next one for you is also German. Zu tief ins Glas schauen.
Too deep in
To look.
oh, okay. I got thrown off by showing because I was
'Cause it's
thinking
at the
show.
end.
Yeah. To look too deep into the glass.
Yep. Very good.
Oh, it's like to look too deep into like someone's comment or something.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. It'd be like
Like you drink. You're drinking related. It's
Yeah.
like you like sort of drank more than you realized. Essentially.
I think it's even more general than that.
It's just I can see the bottom of my glass.
Which
meaning
means you did what?
I finished what was in my glass.
Which means you did what?
Drank what was
There
in
we
my,
go.
yeah,
Drank a lot. Drank
yeah.
a lot. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah, just to drink too much is
Sure.
what that means.
All right.
Zu tief ins Glas schauen.
Yeah, I mean there isn't a translatable in the U.S. where it's like bartender, I don't want to see the bottom of my glass.
Right.
If it's like maybe if you're doing like
Do that in the Czech Republic too.
bottomless mimosas or something at brunch. All right, I have one more for you. Also Greek.
Let's hear it.
And this is interesting. Pleuroni. That's a connection of letters that you don't really see. The PLIR. You don't really see plur.
Right.
Pleuroni. And then there's an accent over the O, so it's pleuroni ta malia kefalias mu. That was terrible.
Give it to me one more time.
Pleroni te ta malia tis kefalis mu. I'm trying to work with the accents, I'm not great with accents. I paid the hair of my head, which you could also say I paid for all the hair.
Oh,
Of
paid an arm and
my
a leg.
head.
It was
yes,
expensive.
very good. Yes,
Expensive.
No
That's a
ham
good
horn,
one.
so it's not as satisfying. But you did get it right.
All right, let
and
me
I'm
give
happy
you
for you.
Let me give you one last German one. This is a good one. I think you might know this one, so we'll see. Jemanden einen Korb geben.
I don't know what korb is.
A basket.
To give someone a basket. Is that like to extend an olive branch to someone?
What does that mean? Like I've heard
Like
that
to
before.
give
What
someone a
does that mean?
chance,
No.
or to like or like to like give someone the
I would say
benefit
in
of the
some
doubt.
ways. I would say no. I would say in some ways this is kind of the opposite of that.
To give someone a basket to like say you're on your own.
Why would
Go
you be on your own?
Tell
You're
someone to
getting warmer.
go camping, go packing, get out of here.
Nope.
Okay.
Well, you might you might tell the person who gave you the basket that. You might tell them to get packing.
Oh, it's like I helped you as much as I can. You're on your own.
Nope. It would be like, say you were like, hey, I know this really great Mediterranean place. Let's meet up there tomorrow at 3:00. And I'm like, sure, I'll be there. And then you're there, and it's like 3:00, and then I'm not there. 3:15, I'm not there. Then you text me, and you're like, hey, where are you? You'd be like, are you giving me the basket?
Oh, interesting. It just means to stand someone up.
Yes, sir.
Interesting. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And you know what, Jared? If you forget certain travel items, or there might be some underrated travel
Feels
items
like you're
that
giving
you
yourself
need
the basket.
to get places, so you don't give anyone the basket.
I see.
You know, you don't want to stand up your friends if you're visiting them. So I think one thing that can be a big one that more people forget than you'd think, especially if you're traveling, is either your ID or like important travel documents. What I mean by this is you already get to your said destination, and sometimes people don't know the rules, whether or not you need to keep your passport on you at all times, if you can have a copy, you know, what the rules are, right?
Yeah. I've never been overly concerned once I'm in a country. Usually I have at least my license on me.
Right.
Probably not my passport, but like roaming through a country, I've never been someone that's overly concerned with needing more identification than just my license.
Right. I usually keep a copy of my passport.
Have you ever been confronted for identification?
Twice when I was living in Austria, yeah.
I think I did once in Austria when I jaywalked.
Uh-oh.
I'm trying to remember what
Watch
I
out.
showed them. It must have been my driver's license or something.
Probably.
And then I just told them I was studying abroad.
Right. Yeah, could be.
Yeah, I don't remember because maybe I had my passport on me, but I doubt it. I doubt
know what's
it.
nice,
Seems
though?
like a more of a liability,
Right.
to walk around with.
You know what's
something like a
nice, though,
passport.
Jared, is with when I renewed my passport, I actually got the little card now, too. So I have an ID card.
What?
It's
Is
not
that
the
normal?
Same. You have to pay extra for it. But the nice
Okay.
thing about it
I've never
is,
heard of that before.
yeah, it's like a little, it looks almost like a passport-y driver's license, if that makes
So
any
is
sense.
it for Canada?
You could use it, I think, in Canada and in Mexico.
But you can't use it for international travel.
No, but I think I could use it
as
as
an
like an ID if I'm
It works
over
as an
there.
international ID, but
I
not
would
to get
think so.
into like customs.
Right. You need
Unless
your
you're going to
legit
Canada or
passport.
Mexico.
Right.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That I would
So that's
consider
nice.
that. But it's a little big, isn't it? It's bigger than like a license.
No, it's the same size
Oh,
as
really?
a license, I'm pretty
Oh,
sure.
okay. I thought it was a little
I'll have to
bigger.
look at it again, but I'm pretty
so
sure
it just fits in a normal slot.
Yep.
Okay, that's nice.
So
All right, I have this. These are Jared's things.
let's hear them.
Things that, especially if I'm going on a trip, a vacation by myself to a foreign place, things that I need to make sure I have with me. You know, this I say that because it's like I might not bring some of these things if I'm like going to my parents' house in Louisiana
Right.
or something.
Sure.
There's a little more leeway. Number one, a water bottle.
Oh, yep.
And I recently got a new water bottle, and I think I might have screwed myself over a little bit as far as traveling on the airplane because I got an Nalgene. Because, I used to have one of those Camelbacks that had, like, the flip-out nipple on it.
There you go.
And I like it, but one, I don't think it's great for your teeth. And two, I started getting a little grossed out about how exposed that nipple is.
That's fair.
And
Don't
so,
know where that nipple's been.
and, like, if it's in my backpack and I sit it on the floor, that nipple's not far away from the ground. It's just like
Right.
that nipple's seen a lot. And sometimes you got to clean it out pretty often because like you can get like a like stuff. So it's like
Yeah.
I'm starting to get a little grossed out by it. So I switched that up. But I'd say having a good water bottle is key, especially if you're traveling internationally because a lot of big airports have like those quality water bottle fillers at airports, and
Yeah.
and you got to stay hydrated on an airplane. That's a basic rule. That's actually rule number one for fighting jet lag.
Oh,
stay
for sure.
hydrated.
I have like a metal one that I'm going to bring.
That's a good one.
that you
That's
can
a good one.
unscrew.
Yeah.
Got
Is
it for free at a hotel.
Yeah, I have a lot of free water bottles too. I have a free water bottle that I like to use sometimes that I got from a wealth management pitch from a religious wealth management group that
There you
my
go.
piano teacher took me to, where I saw that play that I was telling you about baseball. And
I
going
remember
to-
you. Yeah, yeah. We talked about it on the podcast.
I have a water bottle from there that I like
There
to
we
use
go.
still. Although it says like it has some church, some Bible verse written
There
on
you
it or
go.
something. Anyway, secondly, if you're gonna, I mentioned the water bottle and my struggle with my current water bottle. Number 2, something that I think is underrated, is a good backpack. Not just
Oh,
a backpack,
for sure.
a good backpack. And I have some
That's
things
a
that go
game
into
changer.
what make a good backpack. Let me know what you think about this.
Oh, let's hear it.
So first of all, this is totally unrelated to anything I was about to say, except for the fact that it has to do with backpacks. Remember back in the day when backpacks would have the little spot for your headphones to go through? Did you ever use that?
Nope.
Me neither. And like this just seems like more like if you have to take off your back, like now the backpack's like strapped to you. I was
Right.
like, what if I need to? It's so yeah, I thought that was dumb.
Maybe
But now-
that was more of a thing with Walkmans, but you could also change the song, I think, on the Walkman, couldn't you? It was
I
very
don't know.
inconvenient.
It was. It felt like you were just tethered to your backpack.
right.
Anyway, I mean, Portugal's putting on pressure, but they got about one
It's
opportunity left. So anyway, good backpack, right size, not too small, not too big. There's a what's the Goldilocks?
Threshold?
There's a Goldilocks backpack.
Okay.
I have
Not too hot, not too cold. Just
I have a couple backpacks that I like, but they're a little too small. And I used to like to use them because they were super convenient for travel. But I had to get like creative with what I brought with me and very. But then if you go too big, then it's just got a big heavy thing on you, obviously.
right.
Another thing that goes along with that for me, a lot of pockets. I like
the
a lot
pockets are a big one.
of pocket options. So one of my other backpacks that I liked only had like one top pocket.
Okay.
Like remember this brand used to be popular when we were kids, Dakine.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I used to have one of those. I used to have actually 2 different Dakine backpacks, but their like popular style of backpack only had like 1 or 2 extra like pockets on it, and it's
Okay.
like it's not really convenient for like organizing stuff. Shout out to Belgium. So my new backpack is like a travel sort of campy backpack, and there's all sorts of. Oh, see, there's Thierry Henry. There's all sorts of secret hidden compartments. You're now more locked on the TV than the entire game, and it's over. There's like a whole bunch of secret compartments, and I love it. And I now I have like built in like, all right, this pocket means this. Like I know where to look for certain
Right.
things just off of like a creature habit, rather than what I've done in some of those Dakine backpacks, which might have been big but only had like 1 or 2 extra
Right.
pockets. And then I'm just like digging through like my grandmother looking through her purse.
Right. I will say this too, Jared. I've taken that Osprey backpack now all over. It's been to the Czech Republic, been to Germany, been to Austria. It's been to China, to
How's
Mongolia.
the pockets? How's the pockets?
Pocket
on it?
situation is great, and the thing I like about that backpack is on the front it has 2 little spots where you could put water bottles.
Yes.
Obviously, you don't want to do that while you're flying, and if you have like a plastic water bottle, that would be no bueno.
Sure.
But the backpack's also, it's not fully waterproof, but like I've walked in the rain with it and it seems to come off pretty well, and it's not
Nice.
doesn't get super wet, so it's
Yeah.
a little bit weather resistant, which is good. That's another thing I like in backpacks, because you never
Yes.
know, especially when you're traveling, if you're not renting a car or something, or if it wasn't a road trip, you're going to be maybe more exposed to the elements if you're walking around more.
Yeah, my backpack that I'd like to use is definitely more like camping or like day hiking focused, and so it too has a level of water resistance to it. It seems like,
Right.
and that's also why it has so many of those
Well,
pockets too.
guess what else I'm taking with me to Germany this trip, Jared.
What's that?
I think it's really crucial and also maybe a slightly underrated packing thing. Bring a small foldable backpack. So I have a backpack that I can roll up. It's like this big, and when you unzip it, it's about a 30-liter
that's dope.
backpack, and it's waterproof.
That's dope.
So that was like when I was in Germany 2 summers ago.
But it's
that
like
was my
fully
gym.
soft.
Well, it's like a polyester nylon material.
Okay, so
So it's
I
not.
see.
So I wouldn't put super heavy stuff in it, but like
Sure.
day trips, clothing, even my laptop. I would just
like walking around the city.
right.
Yeah.
Right. Like for a couple of days, I've even taken that on little weekend trips.
That's
like when I
cool.
went to Karlovy Vary in the Czech Republic. I just took that little backpack.
That is highly underrated, and it's I like the fold up because like I have like rain jackets that are like fold up
Yep.
and they're super.
And it's
convenient.
literally like this big, and you can squeeze it in almost
Right,
anywhere.
A backpack in a backpack.
Yeah.
Backpackception.
Exactly.
That's amazing. I've never heard. I mean, it's not shocking to me, but I've never heard of a like a fold upable backpack like that.
Right.
And so I like that idea.
Zip-upable too. That's what's nice about it.
Do you see that guy's head thing?
Yep.
And so another thing I have about the backpack, which you slightly touched on, was the water bottle holders, external, like the nets on the outside.
I like mine
which is
'cause
why
it has
I
a
hate
snappy thing.
Which
so
is
you
why
can
I
tighten it.
hated my external nipple.
Yep.
Because it felt very gross every time I was at the airport and my bag was like on the ground
That's
or
fair.
under the seat in front of me or something.
We have had those discussions on the pod about how disgusting airports and
Exactly.
all that
That'll
stuff.
probably contribute
Should
to
I,
most
should I
of my
buy a hazmat
sicknesses.
suit for the flight tomorrow? Should I?
Yeah.
Or wear a poncho and throw it in the trash when I land in Germany?
You should also you should do the face shield as well, which to me almost
Seems
feels like
pointless,
But the mask
honestly.
and the face shield.
Right.
At Ford Field when I got my second shot, probably for you too.
They offered me a
They
face
had face
shield.
shields. At the first one they had masks. Second one I was like, why face shields?
Right. I thought the same thing.
Especially it's so funny too on the second vaccination.
Right.
But anyway.
Because you don't need the masks, bro. Just the
Well, I guess you do for 2
don't
weeks.
get those sneezes all on you.
You do
know?
for 2 weeks though.
Right.
But anyway, another one, and this is, I will say, we'll get to this in a sec. This will slightly contradict something I'll say later, but something I love about a backpack is a designated laptop slot.
Yeah, that's a big one. I like it too when you can like strap it in so
Yes.
it doesn't move too much.
One for safety, for sure,
Mm-hmm.
but I think even more underrated for me than the safety aspect of it is the convenience at airports.
Right.
Because I've used a couple of backpacks that don't have laptop slots, and like the hassle of pushing your junk out of the way to like smoothly slide in your computer is so annoying at an airport, and to be able to just quickly slide in and throw it out is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
And the reason I say that's a slight contradiction because I think an underrated packing move is not bringing your laptop if necessary, if you can.
Right. Oh, I mean,
Now
I have
you
to
have
for
to
this
because we're
trip.
recording podcasts.
Yep. And
but
I
I
have
think
to do some work too. But also
that's
the
true.
podcast.
In general, I think I try as hard as I can
Not to bring it?
not to bring a computer. If I know I don't have to work, and you know podcast, I guess it's
Right.
weird now because we do this all the time. But like before we did this all the time, I would do everything in my power not to bring. I'd be
Right.
like, I don't need it. I would constantly convince myself.
I feel
don't need
weird
it.
even like I've taken my laptop camping a couple times. It does feel a little bit weird.
Yeah.
You know?
At the airport, it just seems like a hassle, you know? Just like an extra thing to worry about, an
Right.
extra thing that you got to have, take out at the airport. That means it's going to take a little bit longer at those bins, I'm all
Right.
about, I'm all about
Speed and
efficiencies at the
efficiency,
airport.
right.
How quickly can I get through this airport to
Right.
my flight that's
Jared
leaving in
likes
5
to
minutes?
exactly, yeah, exactly. And you know me, I'm going to be getting there tomorrow pretty early.
I definitely am not that bold on international
Right.
flights.
Especially with COVID and everything else.
Sure,
I'm
who knows
curious
what's
to
going to
see.
happen?
Exactly.
They might have a COVID sniffing
Got that
dog. that they're
negative
gonna have
test
to-
though.
Yeah, very good.
So,
I have a question for you. How do you
Yep.
feel about portable chargers?
I have a couple of them.
I know you're
Actually.
a cautious traveler, so the idea of a portable charger seems very
I'll tell you what, Jared.
lovely to you. I
China
imagine.
changed me because I needed my phone so much in China.
Right, it's
that-
your wallet too.
Yep, exactly. And so,
Yeah.
whereas now the only thing is like that'll be probably depending on if I get a spare key or not. That will be my way to get home. You know what I mean?
Do you now? Speaking of underrated items, do you now have or do you? I don't know. I say now because I just got a debit card that has the tap, and my credit
Ooh.
card I've had tap for a while.
Okay.
But do you have the tap?
I don't think so. I don't think I
Okay.
have the tap.
Because when I went to Canada a couple of years ago, I realized how far we were behind
Right.
with the chip. But in that time, since I think that was 2 years ago,
Yeah.
I've now both of my main cards have chips.
I'm
so-
still gonna have
or
to
tap.
I'm still gonna have to slide.
You're
and
gonna be
remove the
embarrassing
chip.
yourself.
Yep. Well, I got cash, bro. Cold hard cash.
I guess so.
That's
I
how
guess
you.
so.
That's how you stay less embarrassed.
So, to avoid the fees of the credit, the
well, my credit
international
card.
fees.
You got to get yourself a credit card that doesn't.
You have a
any
travel
fees.
card?
Oh yeah.
May I ask?
MSU FCU Credit Union, actually.
Oh, it's a credit union
Yeah.
card. What's the brand? Oh, credit union. You just said.
it's
So it's not
credit
like a
union.
Chase Sapphire or anything like
Right.
that. So I mean that doesn't
I'm
really benefit
probably the
me.
last guy really to ask about credit card stuff.
No, I know, but you have a bank account with them, I imagine.
Yes.
Yeah, so there's probably some benefits there too.
Right. But it works
anyway,
great, yeah.
Yeah, I do have a once again, I'm going to contradict myself one more time. I don't have a great portable charger. Honestly, if you ask me right now, I couldn't tell you where it is. But I have
Right.
2 of them, but I couldn't tell you where they are. I might be able to find them. Maybe I lost them in the move. Who knows?
Right.
But I know where one is. But I've never really needed one. Usually, the one time I actually did was when I was flying to you, and I had a really long layover last time. But I also had my computer with me, so
Okay.
theoretically,
You could charge it
that
there,
was my
too.
portable charger too.
Right.
Because obviously, I have
True.
my laptop charger. So if I have my computer, I don't really care about portable chargers. And that
Right.
takes me on to one other thing about chargers. You gotta have. If you're still, by the way, old school and actually plugging your phone in to charge it, you got to have like one of those 6 feet cables,
Oh, yeah?
or like one of those, not one of those like standard
The short, like
standard
2-3
ones that you
feet
get
ones,
with
yeah.
the like with your phone, but like one of those super long ones. Game changer.
Oh, for sure.
I can't tell you how many like places I've stayed at where I have to put my phone in like some annoying spot where I can't reach it or whatever, and it was like, oh, if I had a cord that was 6 feet, this wouldn't be a problem. So I've almost fully converted over to like all my chargers just being super long.
Yeah, that helps.
Do you have any super long chargers?
I have a super long. It's a USB or it's not actually an Apple Thunderbolt. It's like it's the other one.
USB-C.
Thank you. It's not even a USB-C. It might just be. It's a micro USB.
Oh, I
is what it
see.
is.
What do you?
And I use that for my Kindle, which
Oh,
leads
I
me
see.
to another, I think, kind of slightly underrated item is some type of tablet or e-reader, especially
Yeah.
if you don't want to bring your laptop.
I was about to say, yeah.
Like that's also why, you know me, I always have to have a backup and a backup of a backup. So I'm bringing my iPad in case anything were to happen.
Well, and
I could use my iPad.
and it's nice in general because even just at a convenience level, I've rejected getting a iPad for a while because I obviously I have an iPhone. Not obviously, I have an
get
iPhone.
those work points and get a free one, bro.
It takes a lot. It takes a lot. I've considered saving for it, but I'm like, I have an iPhone. I have a MacBook. Why do I need the thing like right in between? But for
Right.
traveling, for convenience, iPad. Do you have to take an iPad out? Does that count as a laptop?
I usually do when I go, yeah.
Sometimes, and that's annoying thing about airports. Sometimes they make you take your computer out. Sometimes you don't. I've had people that are like, "Take your computer out. We can't say this enough. And take your computer out." Then I've also been times where it's like, "Why are you taking your computer out?
Right.
You're slowing down the line."
Right. Pick one. At least be consistent.
But even on an airplane, taking out an iPad and using an iPad is a lot more convenient than taking out a laptop.
Oh,
So you're
for
telling
sure.
me, Chad, you're bringing a laptop, you're bringing an iPad,
Yep.
and you're bringing a Kindle.
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
And my phone.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Well, that's 3 weeks.
So you can't you have your Kindle account on your iPad, right? But you're so connected to the beautiful whatever they call it, paper screen, like
That's right, dude.
That beautiful screen that like
Don't
that.
be getting that glare.
That's a lot of. I would not count what you're doing as an underrated travel packing tip to bring a. I mean, obviously, I get the laptop, but to bring a laptop, I feel like I would be willing to sacrifice that beautiful fake paper screen. Does it illuminate too? By the way, your iPad or your
Kindle? Yeah.
Kindle.
Oh,
Obviously,
yeah.
the iPad does. That's a lot, bro. That's a lot. I don't know.
Well, I like it just because I don't know. There are different things you can do with a Kindle versus like the Kindle app is a little different on your iPad than
Really? So you're telling me using? I'd imagine it was the exact same thing.
and it's just it's a different experience, Jared.
I definitely understand that as far as on your eyes,
Right.
and as far as like the feeling of reading.
And I'll say
the
this,
Kindle's much better. But
The
that's a
other
lot
thing
of
too,
technology.
Jared, is the thing I like about it is like on train trips, like holding an iPad for a long train trip's a little more awkward actually
'cause it's
than
bigger?
than a Kindle.
I mean, I get it. I get it.
But
I guess
it is
for
a
3
lot of
weeks it
stuff.
makes sense because and you're also in a situation. Listen, now I'll take it back. You're in a situation where you can. The the fuck was it? Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to say that.
Ooh.
Where you can like bring a bunch of stuff, like you said, and be like, all right, on this trip, I'm gonna bring my laptop and my Kindle and leave my iPad, or iPad, leave the Kindle and laptop, like because you have sort of base points that you can leave stuff at.
Yep.
And not really have to concern yourself with having everything with you for your whole trip.
Exactly.
So in that case, I'll give it to you, because Kindles, I find it cumbersome to constantly have all three of those things on you, but Kindles are relatively light.
Right. I put that in a
so.
different compartment in that backpack as well.
So Kindles, you're not concerned about taking out.
Right.
At the
I think usually I don't
Where's
remember.
the line between computer and phone?
It's been a long time, Jared. It's been
it has been a long time.
So I'm not
That's
sure.
true. I imagine the first time I go to an airport, I'm gonna be like lost, like trying to go through like the exit doors and baggage claim. Like, sir.
You can't even just read the signs. It's like this says departure, I think, but there's like an arrow. You just forget how to function in an airport.
Yeah, arrivals. What does that mean?
Right.
Is that Spanish?
Exactly.
All right, I have a whole little section here that I think is very important.
Let's hear it.
Toiletries.
Yep, that's a big one.
First of all, something I don't have that I think is very underrated, and I think I should look into, a toiletry bag of some sort.
Yep.
Or if you
Game
don't know what I
changer.
mean by toiletry bag, a toiletry kit. Or if you've never heard of a toiletry kit either, a ditty bag. Or if you've never heard of a ditty bag, a dop kit. Or if you've never heard of a dop kit, a bathroom kit. Or, of course, if you've never heard of a bathroom kit, you've probably heard of a sponge bag. Or maybe a toilet bag. Or maybe toilet kit. Or maybe toilet article kit. Or maybe body hygiene kit. Or maybe travel kit.
Can I
or
just
maybe
say-
wash bag. Or maybe shaving kit. Or maybe wet pack.
Ooh, I like
Wet pack with a P, by the way.
There we go.
Just to be clear.
Right, wet pack. Right, that's interesting. I had no idea there were so many nicknames for them.
Yeah, I knew there was one that I think I didn't even get to in that list that my dad used to call these things.
Can I say as well, Jared, about the toiletry bag? The key is you got to get one that has a hook on it so you can hang it up like in the bathroom. I've had one of those since like 2015. Same bag, and it's been great.
I haven't had a garment bag in forever, and I've just been essentially risking it or like, putting the things that could spill in like a Ziploc bag. Like
I will say on short trips, I use a plastic bag usually
yeah,
too.
but it's not great. It's not great.
Right.
I might still do that with some very like stuff that's prone to popping open.
Right.
Like if I have like a little thing of shampoo or something. But yeah, no, I do not have a ditty bag. And it seems like an obvious oversight,
Right.
Like it just makes organizing things so much easier, and obviously limits the paper bag or plastic bag usage. Honestly, if we're being real, bro, I should look into getting a ditty bag before I go on my trip this weekend.
You should.
I'm sure you could buy a dop kit from like Meijer or something.
You can get a good one on Amazon for less than $20. Not trying to promote Amazon here.
Do you think? Yeah,
I
it's
bought one
Sunday.
for the van.
It'd get here before Thursday if I buy it today.
Yeah.
All right, Amazon, don't fail me now.
Right. But
All
yeah,
right, let me
dude,
let me type in wet pack.
There you go. Ditty bag.
Yeah,
I
ditty
want
bag to Amazon and see
Right.
what I find.
You know what? Another big thing I think is good to bring with you when you travel is like a small notebook or notepad and a pen or pencil. You never know
there
when
were
you
a
need
lot
to
of
write
lists that
stuff.
said that. I was surprised that no matter where I looked, pen always came up.
A couple times when I was in China, that actually helped me more with the cab driver than my phone. Someone had written the address and written a couple little notes, and the guy looked at it and he was like, "Oh," and then he just took me there.
I don't know how, but yeah, I guess that makes sense. There's a good example. I don't know how, but I think naturally I just have like pens in all of my backpacks.
Right.
It's almost like in your car. You should just have.
That's it. Yeah, it's a good thing to have with you.
Yeah, for sure. As far as toiletry goes, toiletries go, I'm someone that is very like if I know I'm gonna have to check a bag, I'll bring everything that I need, like
Right.
maybe a little like travel size of all like the staples.
Right.
But if I could get away with not checking a bag, I'll forego a lot of toiletries and maybe just look into buying them when I get there.
Sure. Yeah. and
Because I
that's-
hate checking bags, and if I can avoid
Right.
it, then I try to.
Well, that's a great tip. And the other nice thing too is if you bring heavier, like a lot of toiletries, it can weigh your bag down quite a bit. Like it's actually surprising. Like when I left China, my toiletry bag was a little bit hefty because I had got like a thing like for like hair product. I'd got some razors, some other stuff. I had my beard trimmer in there as well. It was like the smaller wall one. just battery powered. But it adds up, you know. And if your toiletry bag is like 7-8 pounds, depending on your method of travel, that can take up a lot of space or just be a little bit heavy.
Do you floss, Chad?
I should, but not really. No.
And you don't. And you, no cavities. You don't
Nope.
floss. Jesus Christ. Nope. I have cavities, or I have had cavities, and I floss pretty regularly. Because I was gonna say, a big underrated packing thing for me.
Floss.
Now, I'm not a big fan of normal floss, but flossers. The little plastic things.
Those are nice.
Those things are big underrated. I can't tell you how many times I've been traveling and just get something stuck in my teeth, and you just think about it forever.
You know what
until
I
can brush
prefer
your
though?
Teeth. Oh my God!
I would rather bring a little travel mouthwash.
Does that get stuff out of your teeth?
I think so. If you swish it around hard enough, it might.
All right,
maybe not.
I'm not a big mouthwash person.
I'm not a
I have no
dental
problem
hygienist.
with. Obviously, I have no problem. I have no problem with mouthwash, but I'm not a. You have to click on that screen first. I have no problem with mouthwash, but I'm not a big mouthwash user.
Okay.
But if you're going to travel with it, obviously you should choose the travel pack. But yeah, so that I would say for me. Also, are you a Q-tip person?
No,
not the
really.
rapper
Not
from
really.
Tribe Called Quest.
Not really, no. But Q-tips could be a good one. You know what? Another really big one is, though, that I would say it's not necessarily underrated, but this would be one I would put in the category do not forget, is depending on what country you're from, your deodorant. Because, like Americans, we have, like, stick deodorant. In some countries, they just don't really do that.
I like my good cancer-causing deodorant from America with aluminum and parabens and whatever other terrible words.
Yeah, so those pits don't be smelling.
Yeah, my pits are turning into, they're permanently being damaged, but I smell like a fresh out of the gym even after hours of exercise. So definitely have your ditty bag filled with all of your key go-tos.
Yep.
Because some things are hard to find in other countries, especially. Another one for my blacks out there, lotion. A good lotion is hard to find in a lot of other countries as well. You can find like that generic Nivea shit, but I'm not a huge fan of it.
That's a good thing you bring up, though, Jared, is like also any type of medical, either over-the-counter or prescription, is, obviously key.
Vicodin's over the counter here in the U.S. For those of you that didn't know, you just ask for it and they'll be like, "Yeah, here you go."
Here you go. Have fun.
Now I have moving on to my another section I have, final section I think. Let me check. Yeah. One other thing I would say, underrated packing thing, a little different. Before I get to my final one, I pre-download maps wherever I go.
Oh, good
on
call.
Google Maps, you can pre-download sections of the globe or whatever, and so you can still have navigation without any signal or without having to use your data.
That's nice.
That's good for you.
Yep.
Who has to conserve your data while you're there.
That's true.
You should just download where the cities that you're going to be in.
Right. Only will be a couple, I think, so that wouldn't be too hard.
And it's great too. I guess the only downside is I don't know if trains. I think for public transportation, I think you probably need the internet for that to get up to date public transport because they have GPS. You can use GPS and not use data, but you probably for trains and stuff and public transport, you probably need data.
Right.
All right. Anyway, my final category is the clothing category. Mm-hmm. Underrated things to bring. Now you mentioned for me when it comes to undergarments in general, my rule is probably 2 extras.
Okay.
2 more days than I'm going to be there.
I don't know why, but yeah, I always pack like for some reason my feet are either going to be flooded or sweat profusely, and I always have extra undies for sure.
On all my trips, there's a high likelihood that I am going to somehow pee myself or shit my pants.
Exactly.
Because I definitely, there are times when I've gone a little overboard where I'm like, what did I think I was going to do?
Right. Well, I think I'll be in Germany for 20 days or so, and I'll be.
But you have access to washers, right?
That's true. That's going to be a big game changer.
An underrated thing I would say is, I would say, especially socks and underwear, I'd say it's underrated to just pack way more than you need.
Right.
Because those are some of also the easiest to, like they take up the least amount of space as well. So you're not really giving up a lot to just go almost like full OCD level overboard with it.
True.
So I would say that's a big one. Another one is a big thing for me when I travel, for me, as your favorite would say, Bill Burr, is that I, maybe to a fault, is I prioritize practicality to fashion when it comes to travel. Like I feel like I sort of, not that I'm some sort of fashion icon, but I feel like
Speak for
sometimes
yourself.
I don't bring some of the clothes that really make me feel like I'm gonna
Like
pop
your
the
fancy
most. Like I'm
H&M?
really like yeah, my fancy. That's an oxymoron, I think. I don't.
Your colorful H&M bomber jacket, is that better?
No, that's
Or
different.
accurate?
That's just a normal jacket. But I mean, like nice clothes. Like if I were to
Okay.
go out somewhere, like I might.
Your Armani suit?
Yeah, exactly. I might sacrifice the Armani suit because it's just like this is gonna be a hassle to
Right.
deal with, and also it's gonna take up a lot more space. The blazer and the vest as well.
Right.
And then I got to pack the ascot.
And the top hat,
Yeah, I got
the
the
cane.
whole hat box.
right?
Have you
Right.
seen one of those before?
They're crazy.
Those are ridiculous.
Right.
And so sometimes I feel it, obviously you're exaggerating, but I'm serious. Like, and it's not obviously I'm not talking about an Armani suit,
Right.
But like where it's like, oh, I'm not going to bring this dress shirt because it's going to be a hassle to
Right.
try to iron. It's going to be, or like these pants are nice, but they're just like inherently a little bit more annoying to pack or whatever for whatever
Right.
reason it might be. So I'm just going to get like these jeans that go with everything, and that's another big part of it.
Yep.
That's another big part of the decision is stuff that goes with everything.
Oh, it's
it's
a
not
big
even
one.
just like about, I guess, fashion, where it's like the jeans are universal. Obviously,
Well, you should
khakis.
see my suitcase, Jared. It all goes with everything. It's like either white, green, black, or blue.
Yeah,
That's it. It
yeah.
all goes
For me,
together.
when it comes to packing pants, it's either going to be jeans,
Your Nike Capris with the psychedelic swoosh.
just yeah, of course, just generic khakis. You know,
Right.
casual ones, not pleated.
I'm bringing some
khakis.
slacks, obviously, some
or
navy ones.
like black jeans or like pants of some sort.
Right.
Another big part of that is a versatile shoe.
Oh, for sure. It's a big one.
You know what I'm going to say.
A Samba, bro.
Yeah.
Let me get your opinion on this. I was looking, I still haven't actually picked. This is so unorthodox of me, Jared. This is the first trip where I don't have a bunch of lists. I'm literally just kind of going to enjoy myself and see
Yeah.
what happens.
The stakes are low though.
That's true. But anyways, so my question for you is those. I got a pair of Sambas, but they're white Sambas. Do I bring the white Sambas?
But they still have like the darker the Adidas logo is dark, right?
It's
Or-
navy blue. It's
yeah,
white navy
yeah, for
blue.
sure. Why not? Why not? What's wrong with them?
I'm not usually a white sneaker kind of guy.
Why do you have them?
Well, they were actually when I went and got my other Sambas, it was on sale.
So what's your plan? Have you ever worn them before?
I've worn them a couple times around here, yeah.
Dude, how do you feel when you wear them?
I mean, they're comfy. They're Sambas.
No, but I mean, how do you feel about how they look?
I mean, they look nice, but because they're white, I just don't want to get them messed up. You know, whereas if I brought I have a pair of black Jordans or sneakers.
But I would say, what the hell are you going to be doing besides for walking around a city that's going to get them so messed up?
That's true.
Also, I will say,
Play
this,
some
do they
football?
have? Is the sole's gray though, right?
It's like that. No, it's like that gum color, that
Yeah,
brown.
that's what I
Yeah,
mean. That's what
yeah.
I mean. You're right. It's not gray. That's what I mean. Sambas are shockingly resilient.
That's true. And
I've never
pretty
had white
versatile.
Sambas, but they're shockingly resilient in that gum. Like the sole doesn't get dirty at all.
That's true.
period.
You're right. That's
I'd say
true.
bring them. Summer,
Okay.
I'd say bring them.
They're kind of cool. They look nice.
I'm actually due for a new pair of Sambas. I recently got a new pair of shoes, but there are no Sambas.
But yeah, versatile shoes a big one.
And that's another place where
Mm-hmm.
I sacrifice fashion for convenience. I'll say even a shoe that I love to wear that I think is a bad travel shoe is Converse All Stars.
Okay.
They're not really comfortable shoes to walk in for long distances.
That's true.
They're not. They're annoying as hell at the airport to put on, and because you got to fully loosen them,
Right.
you got to fully tighten them up to
Right.
tie them, and so you can't just really slip them on and slip them off. So they're annoying at the airport, and so I like to. They're good casual shoes to go out with. But they're annoying. But they're annoying because you can't really use them at the airport conveniently, and they're not good if you're going to be walking all day.
Right. But I like that you mentioned the slip-on, slip-off because that leads me to my go-to travel shoe is actually like a Van slip-on.
That's a great shoe. That's actually even better than the
and
Samba,
that's comfy
especially
to walk around in.
because you're going to be there long enough where you're going to need to bring more than one pair of
Yep,
shoes
for sure.
So Vans are more casual than Sambas, I would say.
Yep.
But they're super at the airport. They're
Yeah,
amazing.
slip on and off. Yep.
And the great thing about a Samba is you can throw them in a washer machine too.
Yep.
So you really don't have to concern yourself with them getting dirty.
Right.
So yeah, but that's a big thing for me is just the sacrificing the fashion for comfort.
Right.
And and
definitely
versatility.
a trade-off for sure.
Sometimes it bums me out though, because I have been on multiple trips where I was like, I could stun on these hoes more, but I don't have an iron first of all, and this thing is bulky and it's sort of annoying to travel
Well,
with.
the nice thing is, Jared, a lot of the button downs I'm bringing are actually like the kind of like wrinkle-free type of ones. They're like a
and
little
it's
bit
nice that
polyester.
it's also summer, so you could have like lighter button downs too.
Yep. Well, it's funny, dude. I don't think I've ever packed so many like white, articles of clothing in my
White
suitcase.
blazers, white pants.
Exactly. White shoes, white hat.
Oh, I thought this was you're at the wedding. If you go in all white,
That'd be hilarious.
like a white shorts with a white blazer and then a white button
White tie.
down, and then some sort of like white gator skin shoes or something.
Yep.
That would be amazing.
You're good to go.
Who invited him?
Right.
Especially since you're going to know like almost no one there.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, dude. It'll be interesting to work on my social skills again in German. It's been a while.
Yeah. You're really going to be a fish out of water, and the person you know is going to be a little preoccupied.
Very preoccupied. But there is actually a mutual friend of ours, two mutual friends of ours.
Okay, that's nice. So you're not fully on your own.
Right. Yeah, but it's kind of fun sometimes to just meet a bunch of new people.
Sure, you
and,
like that stuff.
And it'll be cool too because I really hope to like hear some stories about what my buddy was like when he was younger, like how they know each other.
Yeah,
that's a great environment to ask those types of questions.
My final garment that I think is a highly underrated that we talked about that I think even got us the idea. This is a chancleta, whatever that means for you.
Yes, a
whether that
slide,
be like
a
a slide, my
flop.
rubber Birkenstocks.
Yep.
Whatever is your like
Your
house shoe.
Birkenstocks?
They are real Birkenstocks.
Oh, those
by
are
the
real
way.
ones. Never mind. Okay.
Real Birkenstock
Legit.
logo.
Okay.
But they do make these rubber or plastic ones.
Right. So Crocs. That's
yeah.
what you're into.
Whatever your chancleta is.
Right.
Which is I think Spanish for slipper, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah.
Or sandal, one of those two.
Yeah. Or house shoe, maybe. I don't know.
But it is essentially it means something, but essentially it's just a house shoe.
I got mine upstairs ready to go.
And I'll say as far as underrated stuff goes, I always forget the chancletas. I'm actually legitimately nervous I'm going to forget them on this trip.
That's funny. You need to just buy a pair that just stay in your car.
I really do.
Then you
know what I
forget.
do? These are actually starting to like.
I see that. It's starting to wear.
I need to get new ones for my house and put these in my car.
There you go.
That's what
Yeah.
I should do.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll think about that after this trip.
I do have a pair of travel chancletas. Like they only go when I go on trips.
That's a good idea. Yeah, it's a good idea. I should just leave them in my go-to sort of overnight bag.
Exactly.
That's a great idea because
Exactly.
One, as we talked about, if you're going to other people's places, some people don't like you wearing shoes.
True.
And I don't mind not wearing shoes at all. I understand, and I'm not going to complain. But I'm not a huge fan of just walking around in my socks.
Right.
And so to have the chancleta is a big one, and I always forget those.
Yeah, and the other thing too with the slides or the flip flops is there's just so much versatility, right? Just be careful, like if you use them out, like when you're at the pool or at the beach, make sure to really like rinse them off.
Yeah.
Make sure they're clean. If you're later going like the chancletas I'm bringing with me have been to Bali, have been all over China. They've been a lot of places, so you want to make sure they're not super dirty if you're walking around certain spots.
Are these chancletas that you can also shower with?
Yeah, and I usually bring like a plastic bag, and I'll usually even just a shopping bag and put them in. I
assume when you're at your friend's place, you're not that concerned with flip flops in their shower.
No.
But you do plan on potentially doing some weekend trips or overnight trips or whatever.
Yep. And if I'm at a hotel,
or especially a hostel, like a communal hostel.
I haven't thought too much about hostels.
Yeah, how's that gonna work? Are there just? I mean, I assume that's a thing. Communal rooms.
Oh, for sure.
Huh. Yeah. I mean, I know it's a thing, but I mean, during the pandemic is what I mean.
Right. Well, I would, me, I'm a little bit bougie, not as bougie as you, but I would get a hotel room probably.
Okay. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of. I not to brag, I have no problems with a hostel, but I have enough money and I'm comfortable enough to get a personal room at a hostel. I'm not a huge fan of communal rooms in general, especially when it comes to leaving your stuff.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I'd be super.
Yeah, you
got
to be real trustworthy, and
so
you never know.
I've reached a point in my life where I can get my own hostel room for $35 a night.
Yeah, those aren't too expensive, thankfully. But yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any other really big, underrated or things,
That's
not
all
to
I have.
forget.
I have one more question for you, I
Yeah.
guess. That's all I have as far as
Right.
underrated things, but I do have one that I'm not sold on, but I'd ask you about.
Let's hear it.
When it comes to traveling, do you have any snacks on you of any sort?
Not really.
Any
I'm not
Munchables?
usually. I've been thinking about maybe this trip I will, but generally I don't.
I usually, especially on international trips, I usually bring a snack, whether it be my favorite animal crackers, whether it be like a box of Cheez-Its, and never eat it.
Oh yeah,
I
okay.
never eat it.
Okay.
I'm pretty good at controlling my. I actually haven't eaten today at all. Now that I think about it, I'm I'm pretty good at controlling my hunger.
Right.
So I don't get overly concerned about getting hangry or like getting to a place where I'm like starving.
Right.
But I still have a lot of times, especially internationally or on a road trip, definitely. Once again, on a road trip, I'll bring stuff and not eat it as well.
Right.
And just like eat stop for like lunch or whatever and leave it at that. So I do bring stuff, but I don't really need it. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't really call it underrated because I never use it anyway.
Right. Well, the other
But
thing
I wonder
is
if you
too.
do.
Well, the other thing is too is a lot of times when I'm at other places, I don't mind. It's more expensive, but I don't
Yeah.
mind eating at the airport occasionally, especially
I don't either.
like when I was at the airport in Harbin. That was really cool because I got to have, their like a traditional dish from there that was
Yeah.
delicious.
The Detroit
It was cheap.
airport has a Japanese restaurant that I like to go to. Occasionally,
Get some
if my
ramen?
flight is around, no, I don't know if they have ramen.
Okay.
If my flight, because it's like a sushi place, but they have like, I'm not a huge sushi person, but they have really good. I like their dumplings a lot.
Ooh,
I like their
dumplings are always
edamame.
good. Okay.
And there's some other like dishes stuff like like the chicken katsu. That's always fun.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good one.
But I think it's primarily a sushi place. But that's actually one of the few restaurants that I'll actually plan to get to the airport a little early for, to like be like, all right, I'll get some lunch there if the time's right. But yeah, I'm more concerned about making sure I had like a solid meal before I even get to the airport. Like I am
for
concerned
sure.
about snacks.
Definitely. I
Where it's like
agree.
I want to make sure I had a big breakfast or big lunch before I even got onto the plane. So theoretically, even if you are going to Germany or
Right.
whatever, you could not eat for 9 to 10 hours and you're not going to die.
Right. And the other thing too though is I would recommend when you land, definitely get some food in your body, especially if you haven't eaten for a while, just because I think it can help with fatigue a little bit with the jet lag.
I see, yeah.
So it's good to get like
Especially
a snack
since
or
airplane
something.
food sucks.
Right. Lufthansa is. I mean, it's not
okay.
great, but
That's
it's edible. I'd put it that way.
That's the thing that I say to people that say like, "Oh no, this airline has pretty good airplane food." I'm like, maybe, but you would never ask for
airplane
that
food,
over
right.
like a like your
pizza.
favorite restaurant,
Right.
Like you never be like, listen, this is better than most restaurants that I like to go to.
There's a new restaurant called Airplane Food that opens up.
I'd argue even if you're getting like one of those like bedroom like Emirates flights,
Right.
I'd still be like, it's not better than a real restaurant. I don't care
Probably
how
not.
fancy this
No.
food is.
I doubt it.
Probably if you just put that plate on terra firma next to your favorite fancy restaurant, nah.
Yeah, not going to work. No, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm with you. I bring snacks for some reason, but I never eat them.
Okay. Yeah, and I don't bring them, but I usually get a little something at the airport.
Actually, when I went to Louisiana and drove there, I had snacks like some chips and cookies that I didn't eat any of it during the drive.
Right.
But then like some sort of like drug addict that was trying to hide his addiction, I would like snack on it at like 10 o'clock at night
That's
when I'd just
funny.
be in my room.
Just hiding, eating it.
And I'd
real
just
quick.
be like just jamming chips and cookies into my mouth.
That's
and I'm like, I would
hilarious.
never do this at home.
Right.
And I'm only doing this because it's at
on
my
vacation.
bedside right now.
Right.
And I'm like, this is why I shouldn't even bring this stuff because I brought it for my journey and didn't touch it once when I was in the car. And now at 11 o'clock in bed, I'm eating
Right.
potato
and
chips.
cookies.
Yeah, it's like, okay.
Right.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Okay.
That's all I got. Those are
Well,
my underrated.
You may clown on me for this one though, Jared, but I think another one that's really important is bringing some cash of the currency where you're going. Like you were joking
with
when
you.
I said I was getting my 400 euros.
I'm willing to just go to an ATM at the airport.
But what happens if either your car doesn't work or the
I'll go to a
ATMs are
different
down?
ATM.
So you want to, because I will tell you, Jared, I had to go ATM hunting in Indonesia for like 25, 30 minutes. It
Okay,
was
well,
pain.
if I'm going, I'd say I'm speaking from experience.
Okay.
And I've been to mostly
places.
European countries
Right.
where I'm that concerned. Well, I'm trying to think what I did for Tanzania. I think I just went to an ATM there. Granted, I wasn't that concerned because I was meeting my parents.
Right.
But obviously, I did still want to have some walking around money for myself, and I did.
Right.
I don't remember what I did.
Do you order it in advance, maybe?
I don't know.
But it's a game changer. Like it's to me.
So you had a struggle. It was a. I've never been in. Well, what I was getting at, by the way, is I've never really been in a place where I've struggled to get an ATM. Maybe I've been in a place where the first ATM I go to doesn't have any cash or anything, but usually by the second one, I'm good.
Maybe it's just me spending time in the Czech Republic where some ATMs just wouldn't work. And
I also have not
Indonesia,
spent a lot of time in Asia too.
Right. Right. And in Asia, there are some spots where you have to be careful because they have card readers. So
What do you mean card readers?
like if you use this ATM, it'll get your card info, and they can,
what's wrong? What are they going to do with it?
they can steal. Well, they can. That's how they scam you and get money out of your account.
Well, they do that here too.
Sure.
That was a huge issue with Target. Remember?
Was it really? I did not know that.
There was a lot of stores, but Target was, I think, one of the big ones named in it. There was a huge scandal, I don't know, 5-10 years ago.
Okay.
Where a whole bunch of those credit card scanners had been set up with card readers.
Uh-oh.
And there were like these
people's
little crime
info?
groups that were just stealing a whole bunch of
Oh,
people's
no.
credit card
Okay.
info. So yeah, that happens here too.
Yeah. But anyways, I think it just gives me an extra peace of mind having that cash.
Of course,
when
I
step
get it.
foot on
I get
soil.
it.
Yeah.
I'm admitting I've never been in travel situations where I was that overly concerned.
Right.
Because I've never been in a situation, and honestly, it's only because I've never been in a situation where it's bitten me in the ass. It could.
Right.
It could.
Yeah. I just, me, I just try to have all my bases covered and then some when I can.
And we're generally getting to a place where even though using a credit card might be annoying fee-wise, we're getting to a place where credit cards are, at least where I've traveled, once again,
Right.
credit cards are pretty openly
You gotta
available.
get those no fees when you can. That's the.
I have
game changer.
shitty credit cards. My credit card game is so weak. I was actually
Bro,
looking
you
into
could
getting a new
definitely
credit
get
card.
a nicer one for sure.
I can. It's just so it's just there's so many options.
What you gotta do is you need one with like a $50,000 limit, and then surprise me for my birthday with a new Mustang GT.
I figured, let's just skip
just
over
ball
all
out.
these middle cards and just go straight to the Amex Black card. And
Exactly.
Skip all this annoying steps.
Yeah, who needs to level up when you can just get the top?
So I'm working on gathering the $20,000 in monthly fees.
Exactly.
They do have some like crazy requirement where you have to spend like $150,000 a month or in the first.
Ooh, that's crazy.
Maybe not a month, but like in the first year you have to
Okay.
spend some like a overly ridiculous amount.
That's crazy. That's how
Anyway.
they get you. But
Yeah, I think those were some good underrated tips, by the way.
yeah,
I'm happy with
one
those.
one other last tip that I have. My last one would be also. I think T-shirts are a great thing to bring as well because
Interesting. I
also
would say
kind of
hoodies.
versatile. Well, hoodies are important too, but I'm actually only taking one hoodie with me to Germany.
Right.
But I am taking a couple different T-shirts because you can do a lot of things with them. Like you could even wear a couple of my T-shirts I could wear under my sport coat, and that looks
Oh, I
okay.
Yeah, I think that plays to the clothes versatility. That's
For
a nice
sure.
move, though. Have you done that move a lot? The blazer with the T-shirt under
For
it?
meetings, yeah, because I've done some meetings where like
Oh,
I have-
virtually though.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
virtually.
That's a look that I like, but I've never pulled it really in person before.
Right. I think if you do that, see, you need to have like a dressier T-shirt, if that makes sense. Like you can't just have a run-of-the-mill white tee.
I should consider that for this weekend.
Ooh, that'd be good look.
I'm trying to think if I have like a light
You gotta
blazer.
get a linen blazer.
I have
Keep you cool.
I have a white blazer.
Ooh, there you go.
I'm going to
dude.
show you after this episode.
All right, yeah.
It might be. Actually, might be something I also will just
Right.
hulk out of.
Yeah?
Because Chris, my cousin, Chris, of course,
Right.
many years ago threw a white party,
There
and so
we go.
I bought a blazer like a cheap one from China that I wore once at that
I gotta
party.
see this thing. For
And
sure.
I'm now that I think about it, I might whip that out for this party this weekend.
I do have that. You've seen it before. I do have that light blue that it's so light in certain lights it almost looks a little bit white or silverish,
Yeah.
You've seen it before. I've been thinking about taking that one with me to Germany.
I don't have a lot of great summer clothes in general.
Right.
I've
Me
never
either.
prioritized my summer
Tanks
clothes
and shorts.
enough.
That's all you really need.
Right. Which I have a lot of tanks, but not a lot of shorts.
Right. But yeah. But anyways, I think this has been a good episode, Jared.
I
I
agree.
hope it'll help me remember all the important things. Bring my toiletries, bring my phone charger and my external, portable chargers.
Long cord if you can.
Yep. Well, my at least my Kindle, I can charge that with flexibility.
Your backpack within a backpack. I'm still amazed by
yep,
that.
that's a good one. Yep, that's a big one. And Also, too, as you mentioned,
Chancletas.
the chancletas are a big one, and that versatility. If you can dress up, dress down with a couple different things, that's a big plus too. So
Yeah.
so I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully, after today's episode, I'll have a quick one over before I pack.
I'll see
I
you on
can
the other
look
side,
stylish and comfy while I'm in Germany.
Next time we talk, you're going to be in Germany.
That's true. Yeah. So yeah, it'll be great to talk about my new travels and what's going on.
Back to shitty internet, probably.
Most likely, yeah. But hopefully, I will have that hotspot. We might not be able to always do video in terms of when we're talking,
okay.
but we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Yeah.
It hasn't been our first rodeo. So, anyways, let us know though if there are any other underrated or unforgettable travel items that I should be bringing, although at this point, if you write it to us, I'll probably be like, oh shit, should have brought that with me. But still, let us know.
Great idea.
Exactly. Let us know at untranslatablepodcast@gmail.com. You can check us out on YouTube and Instagram. I'll definitely, as long as I have some cell phone data, I'll try to put some pics up at some point of some of the travels and adventures in Germany. So check that out, Untranslatable Podcast. And also, please slide into our DMs on Twitter, Untranslatable1, the number one, and 5-star reviews on iTunes and Stitcher. Let us know how we can make this podcast better for you. So as we say at the Untranslatable Podcast, Dziękujemy, muchas gracias, shisha, and do svidania.